For 20,000 years, the galaxy believed humanity was gone, not defeated, not enslaved, not destroyed by war, just vanished. Human space still existed on star maps, but no one went there anymore. Ancient trade routes led to empty systems. Once busy human worlds were now quiet rocks, drifting around cold stars. Cities had turned into dust. Towers had fallen. Space stations floated broken and lifeless. No ships moved. No signals echoed. No voices answered. Every galactic archive said the same thing. Kig, Eretinians disappeared without war. That single line confused historians for thousands of years. There were no battle records, no invasion fleets, no mass graves in space. Humanity did not lose a final fight. They simply stopped being there. Time moved on. New species rose from their home worlds. Some were peaceful, some were cruel. Great empires formed, ruled for centuries, and then collapsed into history. The galaxy changed many times. Humanity became a myth. In old academies, teachers mentioned humans only as a footnote, a young species, too emotional, too divided, too unstable to last. Students laughed when they heard human stories. Some did not even believe humans were real. They erased themselves, many said. They were not strong enough, others agreed. No one missed them. No one searched for them anymore. Until one quiet cycle changed everything. Near the edge of known space, close to a dead sun that no longer burned, a small monitoring station drifted in silence. The system was marked as empty centuries ago. No planets of value, no life, no danger. It was the kind of place where nothing ever happened. Inside the station, a junior alien scanner operator sat alone. His duty was boring. Watch empty space. Record dust movement. Confirm nothing existed. He had done this job for 3 rotations without incident. Then, his screen flickered. He frowned and adjusted the scanner. A weak signal appeared. Very weak. Almost lost in background noise. At first, he ignored it. Old debris sometimes caused false readings. But something felt wrong. The signal pattern was structured, not natural. He zoomed in. The data froze. His breath slowed. The signal carried an ancient code. A human code. The operator laughed nervously and shook his head. That's impossible, he muttered. Human technology should not survive 20,000 years. Radiation alone would erase it. Time would tear it apart. He almost closed the file. Then the signal grew stronger, not louder, clearer, as if something was adjusting. He called for a supervisor. More scanners focused on the source. Then the mass reading appeared. The room went quiet. Something huge was drifting beyond the dead sun. Very large. Very cold. No engine heat. No active power. Just there. The object moved slowly, pushed only by gravity and time. Its shape emerged from darkness. A ship, not debris, not an asteroid, not a station. A ship. A human ship. The size was wrong. Human ships were never built this large. At least, not according to any known record. The hull design was unfamiliar. Plates overlapped in strange patterns. The surface was scarred, but not broken. This ship had not been destroyed. It had survived. Age estimates flooded the screens. The numbers did not make sense. 20,000 years old, maybe older. The software flagged errors. The system tried again. Same result. The command room filled with officers. Conversations died as they saw the image. No one spoke. No one laughed now. A human ship should not exist. Not here. Not intact. Not after this long. A probe was launched toward the object. It sent back visual data. The hull carried faded markings. Human markings. Symbols no longer used. Language older than most civilizations. The probe circled the ship. No weapons activated. No shields rose. No warnings were sent. The ship remained silent. Yet somehow the room felt watched. One officer whispered, "What if it's a trap?" Another replied quietly, "Traps need someone alive to set them." The probe moved closer. Inside the ship, lights flickered once. Just once. The signal spiked, then stabilized. The silence became heavy, uncomfortable. The junior operator swallowed and looked at the screen. A thought formed in his mind and fear followed it. If humans were truly gone, if their worlds were dead, if their history had ended 20,000 years ago, then who had kept this ship alive, and why was it here now? Someone in the room finally spoke, voice low and shaking. If humans are gone, who built this? No one answered. Outside, the ancient human ship drifted slowly forward, moving out of darkness, as if it had been waiting to be found. The ancient ship did not change its course. It did not speed up. It did not turn toward the station. It simply drifted, silent and patient, as if time meant nothing to it. Command orders were sent immediately. No weapons were allowed to power up. No aggressive signals were sent. This was not an enemy encounter. This was something worse. A science vessel was dispatched from the nearest system. It would take several hours to arrive. Until then, the station crew could only watch. The human ship floated near the dead sun, its dark hull reflecting weak starlight. Scars covered its surface, deep lines, melted metal, strange marks that did not match known weapons. These are not battle wounds, one analyst said quietly. Then what caused them? Another asked. No one answered. As scanners improved resolution, more details appeared. The ship was massive, larger than any human vessel on record, larger than many modern warships. It was built with layers upon layers of armor, thick enough to survive forces no normal ship could endure. This was not a transport, not a colony ship. This was something built to endure. Deep inside the hull, faint energy signatures flickered. Not active power, not dormant systems. Something else, like a heartbeat barely felt. The science team tried to access old human databases. Most were incomplete. Many were corrupted. Humanity's records ended suddenly, as if someone had closed a door on history. Still, fragments remained. Old legends. Half-forgotten theories. One file mentioned something called the Long Watch. No details, no explanation, just a single line. Humanity does not retreat. Humanity waits. The file ended there. The science vessel arrived and moved carefully toward the ancient ship. Thrusters burned softly. No sudden motion. Docking was impossible. The ship had no visible ports matching modern standards. Instead, the crew deployed autonomous drones. The first drone crossed the shadow of the hull. Nothing happened. The second drone moved closer. Still nothing. The third drone passed near a large structure, possibly a sensor array. A light turned on. Inside the ship, every screen on the science vessel flashed. The drone froze. Then the feed stabilized. The camera showed a corridor. Dark, wide, silent. The walls were lined with old human symbols, carved into metal instead of painted. The floor showed signs of wear, as if thousands of footsteps had passed through long ago. But there was no dust, no decay. Everything was preserved. This ship shouldn't look like this, a scientist whispered. It's too intact. The drone moved deeper. Doors opened without contact. Lights activated ahead of it, one by one. Not fast, not dramatic, slow, as if the ship was waking up. Inside the corridor, the drone detected atmosphere. Thin but breathable. Impossible. Life support systems do not last 20,000 years. The drone reached a large chamber. The bridge. Rows of ancient consoles surrounded a central platform. Screens were dark but undamaged. Human chairs sat empty, perfectly aligned. No bodies, no signs of struggle. The humans had not died here. They had left. In the center of the room stood a tall structure, like a pillar made of crystal and metal. Symbols glowed faintly across its surface. The drone scanned it. Data flowed back to the science vessel. The structure was not a computer, not a reactor, not a weapon. It was a recorder. The pillar activated. Light filled the bridge. A human figure appeared made of light and shadow. A hologram. The figure looked human, but older somehow. Taller, calm, eyes focused, not afraid. It did not speak at first. The room waited. Then the figure looked forward, as if staring directly at those watching, and it spoke an ancient human language, The translator struggled, then words appeared. If you are seeing this, then the galaxy still exists. The science vessel went silent. The figure continued. Yokar, humanity chose to leave, not because we were weak, but because what was coming was worse than us. Images flashed behind the figure, stars collapsing, space tearing apart, shapes moving where nothing should move. The alien crew felt cold fear. Oh. We became the shield, the figure said. They became the shield, the figure said. The hologram dimmed. Then it added one final sentence. Teparates. This ship was sent only if the watch ended. The recording shut down. The bridge went dark again. Outside, the ancient ship's engines hummed for the first time in 20,000 years. Not at full power. Just enough to move. The ship slowly changed direction. Toward the heart of the galaxy. On the science vessel, an officer whispered the thought everyone feared. If this ship is returning, then what did humanity fail to stop? Far away, unseen by all sensors, something ancient shifted in the dark beyond known space, and it noticed the light. The message did not stay secret for long. The science vessel sent a priority alert to the nearest command hub. From there, the data spread across communication relays, jumping from system to system like a fire that could not be stopped. Within hours, every major power knew. The ancient human ship was real. The recording was real. Humanity had not vanished. They had left on purpose. Emergency councils were called. Ancient chambers that had not seen fear in centuries filled with leaders, admirals, and scholars. Holograms of the ghost ship hovered in the center of every room. At first, disbelief ruled. Old human tricks, some said. A lie designed to scare us, others argued. But no one could deny the evidence. The ship's age matched the disappearance. The technology matched no modern design. The message matched forgotten human legends. Silence followed denial. Then panic began. Old historians dug through forbidden archives. Records sealed long ago were opened. Stories once marked as myth were now treated as warnings. There were tales of humans facing threats beyond normal space. Threats that did not follow physical laws. Threats that destroyed stars not by force, but by presence. Many had laughed at these stories. Now, they stopped laughing. A senior archivist spoke during one council session, voice shaking. Humanity did not fight us, she said. They fought something else. Military fleets were placed on alert, not against humans, against the unknown. Sensors were turned toward deep space. Long-range arrays pushed beyond safe limits. Ancient machines that had not been powered on in ages began to hum again. At the center of it all, the human ship continued its slow journey inward. It did not respond to hails. It did not broadcast threats. It simply moved. Some empires demanded its destruction. This ship is dangerous, they said. If humans abandoned it, it should be erased. Others refused. If humanity was guarding us, one leader argued, then destroying their last message would be madness. The galaxy divided. Fear made old enemies speak again. A massive fleet was formed, not to attack, but to observe. More ships from dozens of species gathered at a safe distance from the human ship. They watched as it passed. The ship did not acknowledge them. It ignored their power, their weapons, their presence. That scared them more than aggression ever could. Scans showed the ship preparing itself. Slowly, automatically. Tiny machines moved across its hull, sealing cracks, restoring systems. No crew was found. The ship was running alone, a relic that refused to die. Then the ship sent another transmission. Short, simple, clear. Clear. The watch is ending. The words echoed across the galaxy. What watch? No explanation followed. Instead, the ship released data. Star maps appeared on screens everywhere. Entire regions of space were highlighted in dark red. These areas, a scientist said, voice barely steady. They're empty. Not unexplored. Empty. Stars were gone. Systems erased. These places existed in older maps, she continued. They were removed from records carefully. The realization hit hard. Humanity had not only fought something, they had erased entire regions to stop it. A military analyst spoke quietly. If humans used this level of force and still chose to disappear, his sentence trailed off. No one needed him to finish it. Then sensors detected something new. Movement. Far beyond the galaxy's edge. Not ships, not fleets. Distortions. Space itself bent and twisted like it was under pressure. Data streams struggled to process it. The patterns matched the images from the human recording. The same impossible shapes, the same darkness that did not reflect light. The threat was real, and it was coming. Panic spread through civilian worlds, trade routes shut down, populations demanded answers, governments had none. For the first time in recorded history, the galaxy felt truly small. The human ship finally changed behavior. It increased speed, not rushing, purposeful. It positioned itself between the incoming distortions and the core worlds, like a shield, a single ship standing alone. Weapons began to power up along its hull, not aggressive, defensive. Ancient systems awakened. Power readings exceeded modern limits. The galaxy watched in silence. An old proverb resurfaced among scholars, once ignored, now feared. When humans leave the table, it is because they are holding the door. The ship's final broadcast arrived moments later. Prepare yourselves. We are not alone anymore. The transmission ended. Deep in the dark beyond the galaxy, something vast and ancient shifted. And for the first time in 20,000 years, humanity's watch was coming to an end. The galaxy watched the human ship hold its position. One ship, alone, between billions of lives and something no one could fully understand. Councils demanded answers. Scientists demanded data. Civilians demanded comfort. None of it mattered. The ancient ship finally responded again, not with a warning, not with commands, with truth. Across every major network, a new data stream unlocked. Files buried deeper than any modern encryption opened on their own. Human archives complete, untouched, and terrifyingly calm. A voice began to speak, not a hologram, not an image, just a voice, steady, human. We did not disappear because we lost, it said. We disappeared because we understood. The galaxy listened. 20,000 years ago, humanity had reached a dangerous level of knowledge. Faster travel, reality bending, energy pulled from places that should not be touched. They discovered something beyond their maps. Not aliens, not civilizations, but pressure. Something outside the universe pushing inward. Human scientists describe it as hunger. Not for matter, but for existence itself. Where it passed, stars failed. Laws broke. Time bent. Other species never noticed it. Humans did. And humans understood one more thing. If the galaxy knew, panic would destroy everything faster than the threat ever could. So humanity made a decision. They would leave quietly. No war, no warning, no goodbye. Human fleets evacuated their worlds. Colonies were emptied. Data was erased. Humanity erased itself from history on purpose, not to hide, but to move the battlefield away from everyone else. Human space was abandoned, so the galaxy would not follow. The voice continued. We became the first line, it said. We chose to stand where no one else could. The archives showed images. Human fleets entering regions of space where physics collapsed. Ships built not for comfort, but survival. Crews trained knowing they would never return. Generations were born beyond the galaxy. They did not call themselves heroes. They called themselves watchers. Human children were taught one rule above all others. Gay-A-T. For the galaxy survives, we succeed, even if we are forgotten. The galaxy felt something it had not felt before. Shame. While empires fought each other for power, humans had been bleeding in silence. While humans were mocked as weak, they had been holding back extinction. The voice lowered. We have been fighting for 20,000 years, it said, and we're tired. The data shifted. Battle footage appeared. Human ships tearing apart things that had no shape. Weapons that burned reality instead of metal. Entire fleets sacrificed to slow the advance by seconds, seconds that saved worlds. Then the truth everyone feared arrived. The watch is ending, the voice said. Not because we failed. Silence followed. Then because we failed. Silence followed. Then because the enemy learned. The pressure from beyond had changed, adapted, found ways around human defenses. Humanity could no longer hold the line alone. That was why the ancient ship was sent back, not as a warning, as a request. The message ended. Across the galaxy, no one spoke. Then military leaders began to understand. The human ship was not returning to rule. It was returning to warn, to give the galaxy a chance. The ancient ship powered down its weapons and transmitted one final set of coordinates, a meeting point, not a battlefield, a gathering place. The meaning was clear. Humanity was asking the galaxy to stand together. For the first time in history, ancient rivals arrived at the same conclusion. If humanity, the species once mocked as emotional and divided, could hold the dark for 20,000 years alone, then what was coming now must be worse than anything imagined. Fleets began to move, not in anger, in fear and respect. The human ship remained still, silent again, waiting, far beyond sensors, in the deep black where stars no longer formed. Something vast felt resistance for the first time in ages, and it turned its attention inward, toward the galaxy, toward the place where humans had once lived, toward the place they had chosen to protect. The watch was ending. And soon, humanity would not stand alone anymore. The galaxy, not in one place, but across hundreds of systems, fleets aligned along the coordinates the human ship had sent. Warships from rival empires floated side by side. Old enemies shared sensor data. Ancient grudges were set aside, not forgiven but ignored. Fear had done what diplomacy never could. It had united them. At the center of it all, the ancient human ship waited. It did not command. It did not threaten. It did not even lead. It simply existed. Silent, steady, unmoving. Then the stars changed. At first, scanners detected nothing. Then long-range sensors reported strange readings. Space ahead began to ripple like heat over metal. Light bent. Distances lost meaning. Some crews thought their instruments were failing. They were not. A tear opened in the dark. Not violently. Carefully. Like a door opened by someone who knew exactly how much force to use. The first human ship emerged. It was nothing like the ancient vessel. This one was smooth, dark, and sharp-edged. Its surface absorbed light instead of reflecting it. No visible weapons, no visible engines. It moved with impossible precision. Then another appeared. Then another. Then hundreds. Human ships flowed out of the tier like a silent tide, not rushing, not spreading out, organized, purposeful. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. These were not the humans they remembered. These ships were advanced beyond anything known. Their energy signatures were stable, controlled, terrifyingly efficient. Space around them remained calm, as if reality itself accepted their presence. Communications opened. For the first time in 20,000 years, a living human voice spoke across the galaxy. "We are here," the voice said. No pride, no anger, no demand. Just a statement. More ships arrived. Carriers larger than moons, defensive platforms that folded into existence. Fleets arranged themselves between the galaxy and the dark beyond. The ancient human ship finally moved. It aligned with the new fleets, no longer alone. Its purpose was complete. On alien bridges across known space, commanders stared at their screens. Some lowered their heads. Some felt relief. Some felt fear stronger than ever before. A human commander appeared on shared channels, not armored, not threatening. Calm. "We held the line as long as we could," the commander said. "We did not return to rule you." The message paused. "We returned because extinction does not care about borders." Data streams followed. human battle simulations, enemy movement patterns, predictions so accurate they made alien strategists uneasy. Humans had studied the enemy for thousands of years. They knew it better than anyone. The commander continued. This will not be a quick war, they said, and it will not be clean. Silence followed, then, but it will be fought together. Human fleets adjusted formation. Defensive layers activated around core worlds. Evacuation corridors were opened. Human ships guided alien fleets into positions that maximized survival, not glory. No species was placed in front as shields. Humans took the outer edge. Again, scanners detected the enemy approaching. The distortions grew clearer. Space screamed quietly as pressure increased. Stars dimmed near the edge of detection. The enemy was close. Alien crews trembled. Human ships did not. They powered up, not with bright flares or dramatic energy surges, with quiet readiness. Weapons designed not to destroy ships, but to deny existence. Human children born beyond the galaxy had grown into soldiers who understood one truth. Some things cannot be reasoned with. Some things must be stopped. The ancient human ship transmitted one final internal message to the fleets, a simple phrase. Ha! Corded. Hold the line. Across the galaxy, alien fleets mirrored the formation. For the first time, humanity did not stand alone at the edge. The enemy crossed the boundary. Space collapsed inward. The first wave hit the human defensive screen. Reality burned. Human weapons fired. The dark recoiled, not destroyed, but slowed. Enough. The commander spoke again, voice steady even as stars died far away. This is why we left, they said, and this is why we came back. The battle for existence had begun. And this time, humanity was not the only one watching the dark. The battle did not look like war. There were no lines of fire, no clear explosions, no simple victory. Space itself twisted as the enemy pressed forward. Stars dimmed, then vanished, pulled apart by forces that did not follow physics. Alien weapons struck the dark and passed through it like smoke. Human weapons did not. They burned absence. Fields of controlled reality expanded from human ships, pushing back the pressure from beyond. Each shot was precise, measured, painfully expensive. Human fleets absorbed the worst of the assault. Ships fell, not screaming, not breaking. They simply faded, erased as they held the line. Alien fleets watched in horror and awe. Humans did not retreat when ships were lost. They closed ranks. They always closed ranks. The human officer aboard one of the frontline vessels watched her screen fill with warnings. Hull integrity dropped. Systems failed. The enemy pressed closer. She did not panic. She sent one message. Position held. Her ship vanished moments later. The line did not break. Human commanders adjusted formations instantly. Every loss fed new data into their systems. Every sacrifice made the defense stronger. This was not bravery. This was practice. For 20,000 years, humanity had learned how to lose ships without losing ground. Alien fleets finally understood. Humans were not fearless. They were prepared. The enemy changed tactics. It flowed around human defenses, trying to reach the galaxy's heart. Human ships moved with it, blocking paths before they fully formed. Alien fleets followed human commands now without question. Weapons fired together. Defenses overlapped. For the first time, the dark was forced to react instead of advance. Then humanity made its final move. A signal passed through human fleets, silent, absolute. Human ships across the line began to power down weapons. Alien commanders panicked. Human forces are disengaging, alarms shouted. But the humans were not retreating. They were repositioning. The ancient human ship moved forward alone. It drifted into the center of the enemy's pressure, its hull glowing with power drawn from every human fleet. The ship was never meant to survive. It was meant to end things. The human commander spoke one last time across all channels. We held the watch long enough, they said. Now we close the door. The ancient ship activated its core. Space folded inward, not exploding, compressing. A controlled collapse. The dark screamed not in sound, but in resistance. Reality snapped back into place as the pressure was forced outward, beyond the galaxy's edge. The cost was enormous. The ancient ship disappeared. So did several human fleets. But the dark was gone, not destroyed, pushed back beyond reach. The galaxy held its breath. Scanners stabilized. Stars returned. Silence followed. Then the human commander spoke again. "The watch is over," they said. "The galaxy is no longer alone." Human fleets remained at the edge, not as rulers, not as conquerors, as guardians. Alien leaders finally understood the truth that history had missed. Humanity did not vanish because it was weak. Humanity vanished because it was responsible. While others fought for power, humans fought for survival. While others forgot the dark, humans remembered. A new record was written into galactic history, not by human hands, by everyone else. Judge. When humanity left the galaxy, it did not abandon it. Judge. It stood between existence and extinction, and when humanity returned, the galaxy was ready to remember.